having them feel like they belong to a community of students.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the things we have lost as we're all learning alone in our kitchens or our bedrooms.
Right.
So what I've done ever since we went online, well, no, I started doing this when we were in spring of 20. So I have my class broken up in familias, just like they do in the Puente program. And so out of my 25 students, I have 5 familias, and they meet, on their own. They meet with me, and I set up the familias in a very intentional way. So like I put, all my high school kids in one, and then another group of just high school kids. And then I put a group of like moms, Korean moms are together. So for me, it was more important that they felt that social connection to other people like them that can help one another with the content of the class. And so the familias have been great for me too, because then I focus on meeting with each of them every Thursday, right? Instead of class, I meet with the familias independently. So it allows me to just see 5 students at a time and just totally focus on them, right? And what they're struggling with. They talk with me a lot. So that's been what I have kind of worked on to help with that affective domain issue of building a community, even though we're not seeing one another in person. And it has worked. At first, I thought, okay, they're going to tell me, no, this is crazy. But again, I always do my exit interviews, and they said, no, let's keep it. They set up their own Discord page. They let me come into their Discord, though, and then they have their own Canvas page. And I help them organize the Canvas page, and I upload things for specific familia. So it's a nice way to have more personal connections with them, too. And I also like for them to build community to then help one another. So I know other students who now are writing 2 together because they were in the familia and writing 1.
Right.
And so they're in the research class together. So that's been my more, academic way of approaching it. But I also have inserted myself into where they're at. So I am on Discord as well. And my class is part of the student hub at IVC. And so I told them, so yeah, I'm your instructor. And when we're in our learning space, I'm your instructor. But then if you need to see me on Discord, I'm your guide. I'm your helper. Ask me whatever. And so, going back to the idea of gamifying education, I don't know if I'm gamifying. I think I'm making myself more approachable to them and meeting them where they're at. Instead of saying, come to my office hours, you have to see, how that goes. And some of them don't know what that is. And I just hang out on Discord, and I have had many more interactions with them that way. And it allows me also to give them a ton of resources because it's one-stop shop, right? In my account, I have, hashtag announcements, hashtag resources, hashtag questions, hashtag, I don't know what else. And so I just throw things up there, and they're like, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm so happy you're telling me about this. So that's something new.
Sure. Yeah, I actually thought about this. And I think it depends partly on whether or not the professor or the instructor is, actually teaching those things, or if he's just giving extra support, if they're going to be a very specific part of the class. For the ESL co-requisite class, the language activities were very deliberate. Like that's our hour, because it's that hour is labeled as language support. But if the instructor is doing it, in order to develop language skills, I think you're going to have a multi-pronged sort of approach where you have that constant support where they're doing activities and hopefully that can be automated. Canvas is great about that. That's why I have a lot of those quizzes that are just like fill in the blank. I'm not trying to trick you or anything like that, but I just want to confirm that you're learning. And then I direct them to YouTube videos and that cover certain grammatical ideas, as well as composition ideas. Sometimes I have a video that I show them about catchy titles, for example. And then the biggest thing that I do in class when I'm in front of them is demonstration has been a big asset to me. Even the native speaking students, they found it very valuable. They'll go like, oh, I didn't, when we went over thesis statement and body paragraph structure, the more technical aspects of writing, they'll ask like, oh, are we supposed to do that? And then that opens the door into like, well, writing is not like math where it's a formula. Instead, you should think of it more of like, well, you have all these tools and you have to be, and if you can think of it as art as if you like, but the goal is to go, okay, well, here are all my tools, here is my goal. How am I going to accomplish that goal?